For over 1,000 years, the great city of Constantinople stood as the jewel of the Byzantine Empire, a city known for its wealth, beauty, and strategic importance. But in 1453, it would face its ultimate test. The fall of Constantinople didn't just mark the end of the Byzantine Empire, it was a seismic event that reshaped the course of history for Europe, the Middle East, and beyond. By the mid-15th century, the Byzantine Empire was a shadow of its former glory. What was once a sprawling empire stretching across the Mediterranean had shrunk to the city of Constantinople and a few scattered territories. The Ottoman Empire, however, was on the rise. Led by Sultan Mehmed II, an ambitious and determined 21-year-old, the Ottomans had set their sights on this ancient city. Constantinople's location had long been a vital crossroads between Europe and Asia, a gateway that controlled trade routes. For Mehmed, conquering Constantinople meant not only controlling these routes, but establishing a capital that would unify his empire. On April 6, 1453, Sultan Mehmed II launched his campaign. He arrived at Constantinople with an army of over 80,000 soldiers and an array of artillery, including a massive cannon known as the Basilica, capable of breaking through the city's formidable walls, which had protected it for centuries. The Byzantines, led by their last emperor, Constantine II, had around 7,000 defenders, including a small group of Venetian and Genoese allies. They were vastly outnumbered and outgunned, but they fought bravely, relying on the city's thick Theodosian walls, which had withstood countless sieges before. As the siege dragged on, life inside Constantinople became increasingly desperate. Food and water supplies dwindled, morale was low, and fear was ever present. Emperor Constantine II tried to rally his people, knowing this might be the last stand for the Byzantine Empire. He encouraged them to hold their ground, but even the emperor knew that hope was slipping away. The Ottomans, meanwhile, played on this fear, using psychological tactics. Night after night, they would sound drums and trumpet blasts, creating a relentless sense of dread within the walls. After weeks of pounding the walls with cannon fire, Mehmed ordered the final assault in the early hours of May 29th. Under the cover of darkness, wave after wave of Ottoman soldiers attacked the city's defenses. Despite being outnumbered, the defenders held on bravely. Constantine XI reportedly fought alongside his men, refusing to leave the battlefield. But as dawn broke, a group of Ottoman soldiers found an unlocked gate, allowing them to breach the city walls. With the defenses broken, chaos erupted. The Ottoman army flooded into Constantinople, and within hours, the city that had once been the heart of the Byzantine Empire fell to the Ottomans. The fall of Constantinople marked the official end of the Byzantine Empire, an empire that had existed for over a millennium. Sultan Mehmed entered the city as a conqueror and declared it his new capital, renaming it Istanbul. He converted the Hagia Sophia, the city's most revered cathedral, into a mosque, symbolizing the city's new era. For the Byzantines, this was the end of an era. But for the Ottomans, it was the beginning of a new age, and Istanbul would go on to become one of the most important cities in the world. The fall of Constantinople sent shockwaves across Europe and the Middle East. European nations, especially Italy and the Catholic Church, were stunned. The Eastern Orthodox Christian empire that had stood as a buffer between Europe and the Muslim world was no more. European trade routes were now at the mercy of the Ottomans, prompting explorers to search for new paths to Asia. This desire for alternative routes would lead to the Age of Exploration, paving the way for Columbus, Vasco da Gama, and others to set sail and reshape the world. In the Islamic world, the Ottomans were celebrated for this victory, and the Ottoman Empire continued to grow, extending its influence deep into Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. The Ottomans brought new cultural, architectural, and scholarly achievements to their empire, and Istanbul became a center for Islamic culture. The fall of Constantinople remains one of history's most significant turning points. It shifted the balance of power in the Mediterranean and marked the end of the Middle Ages, ushering in a new era for Europe and the world. With the fall of the Byzantine Empire, many Greek scholars fled to Italy, bringing ancient texts that would fuel the Renaissance. Europe would emerge with new ideas, art, science, and a thirst for knowledge that would transform its society forever. In 1453, the fall of Constantinople closed the book on the Byzantine Empire, but opened a new chapter for the world. It was a moment that defined history and reshaped civilizations. The city that stood at the crossroads of East and West remains a testament to the resilience and richness of both Byzantine and Ottoman legacies. This is the story of Constantinople, a city of empires, a city of history, and a city whose impact still echoes through time.